Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point was only open for a few days before its current closure, and I was one of the lucky few to ride it. On April 30th, 2024, I got my one and only ride on this new for 2024 attraction, and I came off the ride shocked and impressed at just how good this ride is. So without further ado, let's dive into my thoughts on this otherworldly experience. Let's start off with a quick overview of Top Thrill 2's stats. The ride is 420 feet tall with a 400-foot drop, goes 120 miles per hour at its top speed, and is 2,800 feet long. Its max vertical angle is 90 degrees, has a duration of 2 minutes, was manufactured by Zamperla, and is located at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Previously, Top Thrill 2 was known as Top Thrill Dragster, which had the existing top hat with a 0 to 120 mile per hour hydraulic launch. Top Thrill 2, on the other hand, has 2 moments that reach over 400 feet and uses 3 separate LSM launches. Now for a quick layout breakdown. After leaving the station, you turn into and stop at the same starting point of Top Thrill Dragster. And similarly to its predecessor, you wait for a couple seconds before the light tree fully lights up. After hearing a few sound effects and the lights signal your launch, you are flying from 0 to 74 miles per hour and going about halfway up the top hat. You've probably heard by now that the acceleration on this first launch isn't that great. And although this definitely isn't the best launch in the world, keeping in mind the fact that you are traveling at Steel Vengeance's top speed during this helped put this launch into perspective for me. Heck, not everything has to be some super intense, bone-crushing launch. But Top Thrill 2's first launch is just plain fun. The halfway rollback is also really fun, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of getting sick on this part. However, I never did, and the weightlessness you feel on this element is surreal, not to mention the views you get. Up until this point, the ride has been a scenic yet somewhat intense ride. But then, Top Thrill 2 kicks it into high gear as you launch backwards going 100 miles an hour. This is easily one of my favorite parts of the ride, and it is absolutely insane. I wasn't really expecting to feel much of the 30-mile-an-hour difference, but man, when you are flying backwards at 100 miles per hour with nothing but a lap bar, that is truly an unmatched experience. Before you know it, you're flying up the 420-foot tall spike, giving you outstanding views of the surrounding park, as you are easily looking down at almost everything there, including Power Tower. This truly is one of the most beautiful moments that you can have on a roller coaster. Time stops, and you can even get some brief floater before you're flying back down into the third and final launch. Once again, you definitely feel this increase in speed, and I cannot imagine a more perfect launch that Cedar Point and Zamperla could have pulled off. You are crushed into your seat and you have no other choice but to raise your hands and shout for victory. But that's not all, because arguably you have one of the best moments of laterals and airtime ever, and that is the top hat. You quickly ascend the top hat and are flung out of your seat and whipped to the right, where you crest the second moment on the ride that is 420 feet tall. And you just briefly get a second to take in the beautiful views of the peninsula and the distant land before you're whipped down yet again, still out of your seat. Apparently, the Zamperla lightning trains are elevated higher on the track than the previous Intamin trains, causing a way more intense experience on the top hat, and man, it is insane. After that, you fly into the brakes and your ride on Top Thrill 2 is over. A common complaint about this ride is the rattle, but to be completely honest, a lot of the ride's intensity comes from this rattle, and it's not even that noticeable. Plus, when you're traveling well over 100 miles an hour, do you really expect it to be a glass smooth experience? I would think not. But easily, this ride is one of my favorites at Cedar Point, and of all time. When I say that I was genuinely questioning what my favorite roller coaster ever was after riding Top Thrill 2, I really do mean it. Everything about this ride is just so much fun, and I am hoping that Top Thrill 2 reopens as soon as possible, because I firmly believe that everyone who rides this roller coaster, whether they're a GP or an enthusiast, will be pleasantly surprised with their experience. Cedar Point truly has hit a grand slam with the ride. but I just really hope that its reliability gets better over time. If you were lucky enough to get on Top Thrill 2 so far, what are your thoughts on the ride? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.